You are right, Lucas. He Craig's pretty weird.
Could they give him like a nice like voice too? Can we
Yeah, not so
customize
like.
Craig's voice like Siri so he doesn't sound like something that's gonna kill me?
I wish. I wish. Oh yeah, and just to let you know, this is how we're starting out the episode.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. So hey everyone, welcome back to the Psyched Out Podcast, and it's just me and Lucas today, and our bot friend Craig here recording the call for us. Lucas, do you want to like elaborate on like what you don't like about Craig, so everyone out there?
I do. I have several problems, but I'll bring up two issues that are very prominent. One, I can't tell what he is. Don't know what that is. Is that what's in front of his mouth? Is that a squirrel or is that a dog? I don't care. I don't know what's in front of his mouth. It looks like a stethoscope. I don't want him as a doctor. He'd probably kill me. Another thing, his voice. I don't know why they couldn't just give you like a Siri option where you can have him be like an Australian-born Mongol or something, but he just sounds evil. Sounds satanic. That's a problem. I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree. Because I don't know if you guys have ever used the Craig recording option on Discord, but when you tell him to join and record, he makes this. Yeah, it's like a really robotic, monotone, kind of futuristic AI, intelligent.
I'm Siri, kind of, your virtual assistant.
Oh,
yeah. See,
like
that's
that,
pretty.
But
I'll listen to that. I won't listen to like now recording. That's just not.
Oh my god!
It's not fun.
You sounded like almost like him.
I don't have the deep voice to go through it with it, but
recording.
Yeah, like that, but just more disregard for human life, and then you got it. It'll be perfect.
Yeah. Speaking of human life and disregards for that, what are your thoughts on aliens?
I believe that through the use of dimethyltryptamine and psilocybin and copious amounts of LSD, we can access a realm of human interaction that we do not get on the physical plane due to our limited senses as biological beings. So we can use these things. I believe that we will find interdimensional elves that can interact with us on a spiritual level that we cannot perceive at the moment.
Oh my god, I need to put the mic down. I need to put the headphones down now.
It's possible.
Okay.
You see a lot of weird things, and we don't know what it is. Maybe it's our own imagination, or maybe it's the spirit walkers, and they're coming. They're coming, and we're tempting with the dark arts. That's what we're doing. But
that's scary.
In all reality, I was actually just listening to Richard Dawkins, and someone asked Lex Friedman, another scientist, asked him what he thinks about the probability of alien life on other planets, and the idea that if he has is that, I don't know, what is it? I think it's in just terms of planets, there's like 10 to the 22 number of planets, which is ridiculous. And he said that to refute the idea of alien life somewhere else in the universe is to agree to an absolutely like insane amount of like, what is it? How did he put it? It's like the chances are so low for there being nothing because there's just so many different planets that are Earth-like. It's just improbable odds, basically, that there wouldn't be anything. It's just I guess it's just an idea of, not an idea, but how does one communicate with them? Is it going to be like physical interaction where they come to us, or is it going to be through some kind of radio waves or something? But yeah, I think there's most like.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, like if there were aliens, I think we know by now, honestly,
Mhm.
unless they're unless they're trying to be unless they're shy. I
Yeah.
mean, us. I mean, to them, we're probably like insects. Like, think of um, we drop bombs in houses. Like, we're basically killing like insects. We're killing the pesticides that things we consider pesticides. And I think if
Yeah.
aliens really found us, if they found us already, and the fact that they haven't already done that, thinking like,
Mhm.
oh, here's a nice planet, but it's covered in roaches, so let's get rid of them. I think if there were aliens out there, I think they would have already done that.
Yeah.
I'm
You
like,
think that
I'm trying to find a comfortable spot to sit right now. Like my chair's just at that height, or the mic. I have to like hunch over like a hunchback to talk into my mic. So right now, I'm like leaning half on my chair, and like it's weird. I'm like on the
like you
floor.
envision you hunched
So
over and you're like, the aliens are coming. That's kind of what I think of you right now. But
in my
do you
head,
think
I'm trying.
if they were to
Sorry, what?
come, if they were to come, would you bet your life on that they're either friendly or not?
Well, are we saying that they've known about us for a while, or they just found our planet and just found us?
Yeah, let's say they sent out some kind of I don't know, some kind of telescope or something. They like, oh, this little dirt rock has things on it that shoot each other. What do you think?
Okay, so if it was like just first saw us, had no clue we existed, I think I'd definitely just go down there and check it out.
Hmm.
Because if they have the technology to travel that far,
Mhm.
then they may see us as total like insects, like I was talking about earlier.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not like you're seeing them walking around Boston
Right.
or something
Yeah.
like that. I mean, if they really wanted to make themselves known, they would have already. Or yeah, like I said, unless they're super shy and they just
Hmm.
don't want.
Well, yeah,
I don't know. But
that's what
if
the
they,
sorry, go ahead.
you go. Okay. But yeah, if they had the technology to come over here and far surpasses us, they would definitely squash us. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You ever heard of the Hollow Earth theory?
The what?
The Hollow Earth theory.
No.
You want to get your mind blown? So,
Tell.
a theory, conspiracy
Yeah,
theory.
there you go. Yeah, your mic was just being weird for a second. You're good
Good
now.
now?
Yeah.
The theory, conspiracy theory, is that I think I don't want to get this wrong for all the conspiracy theorists out there, but there's a chance that an intellectual, intelligent life is living in the center of the earth that has its own sun in the center of the earth. And they're just like running out the clock, waiting for the surface things to go away. And that these intelligent life live in the center of the earth, and we have no idea. That's Hollow Earth, I think.
What the first question that came up into my mind when I thought of that, and
Mhm.
you said this is a conspiracy theory, right?
Yes, very much so.
And most conspiracy theories can be proved to be wrong. And the first thing that stood out to this one to me was the fact that it's called a hollow Earth theory. The
Yes.
fact that there's things inside of it doesn't make it hollow.
Hmm. That is
So it's already
hypocrisy.
contradicting itself.
Good point.
Unless it's like an oxymoron or it's something like that, or whatever the heck it's called. I do AP English, but I don't do English
I don't use English. But yeah, I don't
very
know.
well. Yeah,
I can't imagine how bored you have to be to come up with something like that, or how desperate,
true.
sad.
And actually, you're just throwing great leads to me right now. This is great. And guys, if you're wondering, like, what the heck is this episode all about? Well, we're kind of slowly like our way into it. hatching from the egg over here. Overall, it's basically starting a new series. Actually, I should have mentioned that earlier. And this is that first episode. It's called 25 Years. We're coming up with tons of we're just coming up with ideas about certain things like technology, humans, space. For instance, for this episode, space travel, and what that thing would be like in the next 25 years. So yeah. And this one, is the space travel and development. So that's why we're talking about aliens and conspiracy theories. And you just gave me a great lead to talk about another conspiracy theory that the moon landing was fake.
That's a big one.
A lot of people say, like, if we were able to land there, 52 years ago? Did I get that right? 1969?
60s sometime.
Summer of 69, yeah. It was the summer of 69.
Oh, what a good song.
It was in July. Oh, dude. The fact that a lot of people who have that theory that the moon landing was fake are kind of basing it off of like the shadows. Like in one of the pictures, one of the astronauts was on top of the little what do you call it? The device machinery thing. I forgot what it's called. It's like a probe, and there was like a lot
thing.
And there was like light shining on him all over, and that it was impossible for the light from one side of the moon to hit him. But then they took into account the reflective material on that probe, and they simulated it. It ran through a simulator. And they found out that that material on that probe actually reflected the light from behind him, showing it on like his underside. So that's one reason why it was real. And another reason, oh man, I should have wrote this down. But basically, people also question, like, why haven't we gone back? It's been over 50 years. Back when we did go, it was for political reasons. It was because the Soviet Union was beating us in space exploration, and we wanted to prove it was all for political power at that time. Then when Nixon took office after that, he thought of space as like this general, everyday kind of thought for Americans. He didn't want it to be anything like huge and crazy. He just wanted it to be something simple and not something to be taken in leaps and bounds. Something more like conservative and more like close to home. And so he started funding projects and that involved only in like Earth's orbit, launching things into Earth's orbit, nothing outside of that. And he did fund a project, I forgot what it was called, but it was for a station and a shuttle to go somewhere. But he never ended up funding the station, or the station never got enough funding for its funding, so there was just a shuttle left over. And then that shuttle just later went into Earth's orbit again. And then nothing really that big happened until the International Space Station was made, and we just have had no incentive to go to the moon because it was political last time.
Yeah.
Now we're just working on other things, like colonizing Mars.
Why not? Well, there's one thing. There's one thing with the moon that I don't know if I saw it in a video or something, but there's something called it's called a helium-3 isotope, and it's just, I don't know if it's like a molecule or whatever, but I guess it can be used potentially in nuclear fusion as a means of gaining energy. And so that would be, I think, maybe one of the biggest incentives to go back to the moon is to be able to mine that and then possibly use it. But, then again, it's a huge amount of money to go up there to try and do that. And there's almost already so much efforts being placed into Mars. Like they just had Perseverance rover land today. So I don't see why they would suddenly switch all their focus to the moon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and fun fact: only 571 people. I'm pretty sure that was the number. Have actually made it into space. Like
Really?
we're talking about all the people who've been to the International Space Station and the moon at one time, and
Wow.
other reasons. But and since the moon, no human has traveled farther than 300 miles away from Earth's atmosphere, or 300 miles
Wow.
into space. The International Space Station is only like 247 miles, I'm pretty sure, from Earth's atmosphere. Yeah, I find that super crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. It's half, like, what is it, like less than what? No, sorry, about half of a thousand people or something.
I mean,
Like
you
that
would think
much.
that it's a lot more because the International Space Station, it's people from all over, all countries go there. Like constantly, they're cycling out new
Mhm.
people go up there, and even
Right.
that space is just for like gravity experimentation.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
there's no like ultimate purpose right now. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I've researched, but
Yeah, I
as
know
far as
there's.
I know, that it's just gravity experiments.
That's interesting. I guess you'd have to find like the right mixture of brilliance and insanity for a person to want to do that.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. But that is interesting though.
And, yeah, we've got like all these trying to figure out ways to like go up to space, um all this new technology and then making it cheaper to go up also as well. So much money. And countries that are doing that, like India and China, become big contributors in that in the space exploration field. And just China recently, uh, they I forgot how to. They launched like 5 satellites, something like that. No probes, I think. And I think it was called Chuang something,
Mhm.
Chuang A. And the first and second ones they launched, I forgot when, but they launched them like into orbit around the moon. And then the third one, they were able to land it on the surface of the moon,
Ooh.
and which took awesome pictures. And then the fourth one they launched went to the dark side of the moon, and that was the first time ever that, and we're just talking in like the past decade, it was launched. Fourth one, and no one has ever, and it took stunning pictures of like that dark side of the moon. It was, oh man, I saw the pictures. It was really cool. You can look them up right now. They're great. And it was the first time we've ever done that, the other side of the
Really?
moon like that. And then the fifth one that was just launched, it was actually launched. It's either launched or landed on November 23rd, 2019. And it brought back samples from the surface of the. And by bringing back samples like that, I don't know how interested in you guys are in like archaeology and stuff, but archaeology is like one of the best ways to find out history of any body of land or planet from that time. Like pyramids, for example, or like fossils, and the layers of rocks show how far back in time things were around, and we can like base our predictions off of how deep or what kind of rock is surrounding a fossil. And by taking these samples from the moon, we can figure out like what's going on up there more than we do now. Basically, like the more of something you take, the more you can, the better you can figure it out. So it's like puzzle pieces. The more puzzle pieces
Right.
you have, easier it is to complete the puzzle. But this
That's,
puzzle is thousands of pieces. It's very big.
It's the same kind of thinking with this Perseverance rover that landed today. It landed in I forget the name of the
Oh
name
yeah,
of it.
it's the
Yeah.
Mars thing, right?
Yeah, it just launched, just landed today, and it landed in a dried out lake bed. And I was looking at the design of this thing.
That's a lucky landing.
Yeah,
Dried out.
they said it's equipped with a drill that is able to dig into the ground and collect samples that are stored in sterile tubes that will be returned to Earth in about a decade. But
That nuts.
that is crazy, and it's equipped with all these different cameras and different ways of viewing the whatever you call it, the surface of Mars. And they actually, I think they released only one photo so far, or that might be the only photo taken yet.
I was looking at my my Google News feed today, and I saw that article about that. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, I should bring this up in tonight's podcast, and here you are. You beat me to it. I'm not surprised. Yeah,
love space. But yeah, it's really cool. I was looking at some of just like the little fun facts about it and whatnot. And that is, it was traveling like 223 miles per hour. So, sorry, 12,000 miles per hour is how fast it was traveling.
Jesus.
And it was going a distance. I think it took 203 days to get there, and it was traveling about 223 million miles. I think that's the number.
Yeah, 12,000 miles an hour.
At that speed, yeah. It's incredible.
At least a 70-foot wide parachute to slow its fall.
I guess it's the biggest parachute
and drop the heat shield.
For it. Yeah.
Dude, 70-foot parachute. I mean, how big are normal parachutes?
Not 70 feet.
Do you know?
Let's see.
Oh my god, this thing is like a highly intelligent Star Wars droid.
That's what it looks like.
Listen to this. It's like, it says about 1 mile above the Martian surface, the capsule dropped to the rover. A jetpack attached to the robot fired up its engines and steered Perseverance into its landing site, avoiding hazardous boulder fields, sand dunes, and 200-foot cliffs. Then the jetpack gently lowered the rover on the 25-foot nylon cords until its wheels touched the ground.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess humans are, at least from what I've heard from some scientists, is that they speculate that humans will be able to be on Mars by the 2030s, maybe. Because there's no physical reason, like physical as in like laws of physics, reason why we couldn't be there. It's just an engineering problem, actually building the equipment to do so. Biggest challenge.
And personally, I really do think that just the 30s is still too soon. I feel like even though I've been astonished, like in the past 10 years, I remember like 7-year-old me, even 5-year-old me, 2008, looking around at all the crazy new cars and stuff, and I was amazed. Never would I ever have thought that there would be a touch screen in a car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And self-driving cars.
Yeah, right.
Like, what? And all this other stuff, virtual reality, increased intelligence, AI. Did you actually fun fact? Did you know AI by 2049 they're expecting it to be as smart as humans, and then around in the 2060s, smarter than humans.
Bring it on! Let's go.
Bring it on!
I will merge with my in subservience to my technological overlords.
And by the 2070s, we'll be able to plant our brains with like using like nano microbes, something like that, and like implanting our brains into like a matrix, into a virtual reality.
like a neural link type stuff Elon Musk is developing. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's just and with a rapid like tech growth, even like in the last 10 years, like I was just talking about with cars, I would have never imagined it. And I'm probably never going to imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years.
Yeah,
Still,
because
I feel like we've reached some sort of peak.
maybe at some point there's
But
a
I know
limit to
that's
how
definitely not the case. Yeah, that's true. Because like our resources have limits.
they're finite.
But there's
Yeah.
only so much like damage and so far you can push Earth's natural elements.
Mm.
Everything has a limit.
Right.
I just feel like growing up over the past decade from the single 2000s to like the not the 2000s, but 2000 single digits to the 2000 double digits. Even like in my lifetime, I've been through so much change in tech.
For
It's just a
sure.
massive, and it was probably even more in the 10 years before I was born, the 1993 to 2003.
Yeah. It just
Internet,
grows at an
freaking
exponential rate in the internet,
yeah.
especially.
Oh my God, it's just to think that like what the 50s was like when computers or like the internet came out, something like that. 50s.
Like some very primitive computing stuff, I think.
Yeah, I remember my dad was talking to me about how he would like download music files online. It would take hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
One song or even one picture.
Mm.
And now we can
Imagine that.
send them in seconds. Download in seconds.
Yeah.
Of course, for 20 years. 20, 30 years. Oh my God. And but of course, and now like the point I'm trying to make is I can't even imagine what's going to happen in the next 10, 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just feel like we've done so much already. I don't think there's much more that can happen. But that's what all our parents thought 30 years ago too. So
Right. Well, I was
I
listening to
mean,
a guy. I think his name is. I wrote it down. Michio Kaku, and I think he's a physicist. One of the things he was talking about also relates to kind of like the space theme of the episode is that able to. This was in 2019, I think, or 2020. Scientists have been able to record simple memories from mice. And so they're able to record memories and put them onto a computer chip. And if this technology continues to develop, the next is likely some kind of other larger animal, eventually a primate, eventually a human. So it'll get to the point where this technology could be developed into, say someone with Alzheimer's. This is what the example he gave is like, say someone with Alzheimer's had their memories uploaded into this chip. This chip is, say, inserted into their brain or so, and whenever, I guess the way he described it is whenever they would need to, they would be able to say activate this chip and their memories would come back. And this could also be used in a sense to develop, and this is all very far out there, nothing really recent. It's kind of speculation. I guess it all stays within the bounds of physics. I don't know physics, but what his description is that eventually this kind of technology could get so far down the line that you would be able to transfer, sense your consciousness, i.e., your memories, through chips from like distant planets. So you could set up stations where these chips could be, where these memories could be received and then sent to another location.
my God, so like everyone can learn something. But oh God, imagine that. And like the next, like when we're long gone, 200 years from now, like if we make it that far, to be honest with you, as a human race, just the enormity of that type of, oh God, that type of, I don't even know what to call it. It's that idea that you can take, make, modify memories
Mm-hmm.
a brain chip, blue kind of computer chip, and send them across planets.
That'd be crazy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, it's also fascinating is that like some of these things you hear about them, they seem so far fetched. And one, I guess
I know.
one of my favorite sayings is something along the lines of like technology to people of the past would look like magic. And
Oh
I think
yeah.
one of like the greatest example, I guess maybe not a great example, but one example of this is back in 2019 when the first actual image of a black hole was released. That was essentially everything was not it's not theorized, it's they knew they were out there, but an actual physical
Yeah.
image was never taken before. But how they did it was they used maybe it was 53 different telescopes from around the planet aligned in a certain direction that was able to
Oh my
take this
god.
image and pull like maybe it was like hundreds of gigabytes worth of data that can be compiled into an actual image to make this thing. And it's like you take a step back to think about it and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And that was 2 years ago.
2 years
So
ago. Dude, 2 years. I don't even remember 2 years ago. And this is something I've noticed about like life in general. The less you remember, like as you grow older, your brain deletes stuff and makes room for new things. So like, I can barely remember freshman year.
me
Barely.
too. Yeah.
I remember like a few key moments,
Mhm.
and that's it. And I feel like we grow older and we're like, constantly recycling new information and throwing out old stuff, that life seems so much quicker because we
Mhm.
only have a few memories that we actually remember. And
Hmm.
because we can only like hold a certain amount of, memories in our mind, life seems so much quicker than it actually is because we only have a certain amount of things to remember.
Right.
If we remembered everything, life would seem so much longer because we would be able
Yeah.
to remember everything we've been through.
Right. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I don't feel like I became conscious until like eighth grade. I don't know what the hell I was doing prior to eighth grade. Like
Oh
seventh
my!
grade and below, I don't know what was happening. I don't remember much. I don't think I thought about stuff. I don't think I became aware of my surroundings until maybe I was 13 or so.
Jesus. I mean, you're not wrong. I kind of feel the same way. But like, it just proves my point even more that
Yeah, it
the
does.
fact that that it feels like we were born like in eighth grade. And when we were really born, like a 13 years before that, it was like, wait, how old am I again? And where's my life going? And how long have I lived?
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that you can only God, the fact that your brain that you're saying that you're telling me that your brain didn't like kickstart till you were 13 years old.
I don't know what I
You
was
have
doing. I
so
don't know. I don't know. Like, I look back and I'm like, did I miss all of that? Did I not notice any of the things happening? Time. Like, what was I doing? I don't know what I was doing. I think I was concerned with like advanced warfare, Call of Duty. I think that was like one of my biggest concerns. It was probably that in school.
when I when I was in middle school, I didn't honestly start giving a shit about school. Pardon my French.
Still don't.
Until I was until I was in eighth grade. So like I actually knew what I wanted to do or something in that ballpark. It had to do with the human body and anatomy. I knew that for a fact. I didn't really start caring until like the last 2 trimesters of eighth grade, and I was like, okay, now I know what I want to do. I'll just start early. and start working hard early. But other than that, the only thing I worked hard in was sports, and even then, I forget everything I learned in middle school, even math. Because now, dude, I cannot tell you all those word problems I did in math. I have no recollection of. Like, I know I did a shit ton of them, but
I can't do
I
that.
don't remember anything. And now, like, because God, they were introducing fractions and all this crap and geometry. I hated that. And when algebra rolled around, I found that so much easier because the formula was there. All you had to do was just plug in the numbers and solve.
Yeah,
Bang. Right. High school math.
Yep.
It's just it feels so much simpler than what it was.
Yeah, I can't. I can't with math. I can't. I suck. I actually suck.
Yeah, we were talking about memory chips.
Memory chips.
On a memory chip for math.
Because I want my childhood back, Avery. That's my problem.
Yes, me too.
I didn't get it. It's haunting me because I know I did some regrettable stuff.
You want to remember that?
I want to remember it because I want to confront my demons. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I need to do. If I'm going to progress as a human, if I want to grow my character, I need to fight my demons.
Oh my god! Okay, that light bulb. I recorded like this 10-minute video a few months ago. Me talking like about my life, where I was, how I was feeling, what I was doing. I put on my calendar. I set it in my calendar. I set it in Google Photos that 10 years from now, it's going to email me that video from Google Photos. I'm going to watch it.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm like, I can't wait, but also I don't want to age. I don't want to grow old and die.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be 30 years old and lying in my bed with a needle on my arm, and then I get this email, and it's my younger self looking all good. It's like, man, I got all these aspirations. I'm working so hard, and I hope you're doing well. And then you look at it and you realize how much your life is just in complete shambles. That would not be pleasant. That would not be pleasant.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, if anything, that's like pushing me to do better. That one video. Because now I feel like I've made an obligation for myself to like impress the past me.
That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. Is now you have this obligation, and you're probably going to be more motivated to actually keep it more driven. So, yeah, respect that.
And memory chips, man. Whoever
That's
knew?
a crazy idea. And that's the thing with the Neuralink. It's the idea behind that is you take out this small piece of the skull. I think not from the occipital lobe, like I don't know, whatever's on the top. I don't know if it's like the parietal lobe or something. But
yeah, it's one of those. I mean, we took anatomy together. We should probably know that.
Probably. Anyways,
that brain model I did not do well on. But
anyways, so you basically you take out a piece of the skull, and I think how it works is that it's connected to the back of the skull, and then you insert tiny wires into the different lobes of the brain, and eventually, as this technology progresses, you can use it to possibly cure, I don't know, say like blindness in some cases, or restore function.
That is nuts.
Yeah, restore function to paralyzed limbs or so. And and also you have to think about, well, how could this technology be helpful, or how could humans integrating with technology be useful in space travel? Could we use it to somehow reduce the fact that we lose bone density at an exponential rate per month or something? I don't know if it's exponential, but at an increasing rate.
My
God. So yeah. Also leads to like a dystopian future kind of view of things, where you're like, they're going to track you and they're going to give you a social credit score, and they're not going to let you use your arms when you show up late to work. Something like that.
I mean, let's be real though. It might. I feel like that we've every year we become more and more like socially integrated and technical kids talk technically and socially like integrated every year that we're gonna have a society that's gonna have a social judging system, and I pray to God I don't have to deal with that. Maybe my kids, but not me. You could go deal with that. I'm not gonna.
You can
I've,
deal with it. You can deal with growing up as a 7-year-old with depression. You can deal with it. I'm not. But yeah, that seems like an awful thing.
would timestamp myself. I think that's the title for a video. Brain chips.
Brain
Like all
chips.
caps and all exclamations. I'm writing it down. Oh man. Oh man, yeah, but and that also everything we're talking about will eventually into some new thing here, which is it's going great. It's going a lot better than I thought it would. We should do these by ourselves more often without the others.
I hope
and
they
then
hear this and castrate us.
yeah, definitely. And then we've got tons of like crazy not new but emerging space exploration companies. So like NASA's been around forever. They have a new project called Project Artemis. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I think I have heard of it.
Planning to return astronauts to the moon in 2024. I think they can do that.
Probably.
Although
I would
there's
not
just
doubt
no
it.
incentive other than going back. They probably have a reason. But
I hope so, at least.
yeah, I mean, and it is cool though. The fact, I mean, just imagine 25 years. I know this is way more than 25 years away, but looking up at the moon and like seeing trees on it, green on it. It's like that used to be the moon. It used to have phases. Now it doesn't. That was just another mini Earth, outpost of the solar system.
Up there. It's just floating up there. It's our little handbag we keep around for fun.
We experiment on it.
We blow stuff up on it, see what happens. It's fun. It's all good fun.
The Bryants, the founder of Lucas Bryant, have a streamline of like cult leaders up there. They're all related to each other. It's great. It happened when the pup apocalypse happened, and we had to find a new place to go because it was very dangerous. And he made a new cult colony up on the moon.
Yes, we built a space
books.
ladder. We built a space ladder from Earth to the moon, and we created an oligarchy on the moon. And what ended up happening is when the pup apocalypse started, all these people were rushing onto the space ladder, and we only took the strongest. And eventually we reached our carrying capacity, and we just severed it in half. There was like millions of people still on the ladder, elevator climbing. There are a ton of them up there, and severed it right down the middle. They're gone. You still see them sometimes. If you look out the window, you can see them floating by. It's pretty fun.
Oh my god! If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go check out the episode called Rabies. And you will understand. You will understand all about Lucas's cult and the pup apocalypse. Yeah,
It's coming.
Go check that out. It's coming, and Lucas is ready.
I'm ready. I'm always ready. We're not ready.
Either. Yeah, but NASA's been huge for so long. It's been like the space tech company god. And then you've got SpaceX from Elon Musk, and their goal is to reduce the space transportation costs and enable the colonization of Mars. That's a biggie.
I want to ask you. So I guess I've heard some adversity towards having these independent spacefaring companies, but I was wondering, what do you think? Do you think that how there's the competition between Bill Jobs and what's his name, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, how that kind of fueled, and how that kind of fueled this competition fueled better, more innovative technology. Do you think that's the same case with having multiple different, I guess, space centered companies, or what?
Yeah, I mean, you've got SpaceX from Elon Musk, Blue Origin from Jeff Bezos, and Virgin Galactic. What was that guy's name? I think Bresman. Uh, Richard Branson. He's a 70-year-old insanely rich man. But all their goals are to create, the commercial space flight and for tourism and cheap travel and colonization. But I feel, I mean, and a lot of the funding for space exploration, 28% of the funding is from the private independent companies now. That percentage used to be like in the single digits, and the rest was from the government. I mean, I do support it. I do find it, like, yeah, you can do that if you know what you're doing. I mean, space isn't something we can laws for because we don't own it.
Right.
So, I mean, we can own what our nation does to it. But we can't necessarily, like, I don't. I mean, morally, I don't think it's right to say that no, this person can't start their own exploration business and for space and do this for space because Earth owns space. No, no one owns space. You can't put laws onto it, especially for the independent companies. And then the independent companies are now doing so much more. They're I mean, even though it's just commercial and commercial and tourism, it's still going a long way into space. I mean, Jeff Bezos wants to. He's actually working on a rocket right now. I have it pulled up here just for this conversation. That where was it on this page? Is the SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, and Blue Origin are all the big three independent space exploration companies outside of NASA and all that stuff. But their companies are categorized like the tourism market.
Yeah, because that's something that's supposed to be speculated, like maybe by 2023 that they could actually have flights in the in-Earth atmosphere, maybe, or maybe some below there. Commercial
Elon
flights.
Musk claimed that he would be able to, by 2023, I can't remember the exact wording. Give me 10 seconds. I was watching it. I was on the Joe Rogan podcast just very recently. He was interviewing Elon Musk again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just like a week ago. Exactly. Sorry, just give me 1 sec. It's right in the title. It's right in the title. He said by like 2023, Elon Musk said by 2023, we'll be making, or his SpaceX will be making regular flights to the moon and back through the space, pretty much for tourism.
Wow.
And he says also about colonizing the galaxy, that it can happen in the next 30 years. No doubt. Now the whole galaxy, we will have the ability for sure to do that.
The ability, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Sorry about that, guys. We had to make a quick cut because while I was talking and I was pulling out stuff from my computer, I shut it. I messed everything up. We still have the recording saved. Now we're back. Everything's all good. I just gotta mix it all together tonight. So yeah.
Oh, good.
So,
You're a chef. You're a chef.
Yep. I'm a chef for podcast. But we were talking about Elon Musk, SpaceX, all that crap. And I when I shut my computer, I was talking about how there's a very huge deal on any type of I'm messing it up again, man. Technological advancements. There's a big difference between the show item thing you show at like the big grand openings and then the product item, the things you actually have to sell. Like if you see a new car on TV, that's the show car. It's super cool looking. It's awesome. Then when you go to see it in person, you might notice some things kind of changed because they aren't fit for product. Products have to last. They have to be built to last, and that that also brings back to the Cybertruck. The fact that I don't know if you saw the interview, but he broke the window.
Yes, I did see that. Yep.
Of course, the truck itself, the show item, the show truck was 5% bigger than the product had to be. So basically, like in terms of like I don't know what type of regulations or standards there had to be, but it was a little bit too wide for the road. You know how cars have to be certain width.
Right.
But altogether, you just need to decrease everything by like 5% to be product fit for the road. But he was also talking about the show model truck that they used. They were banging on the side of it with a sledgehammer for all day long. And he said that the reason why the window shattered was because the fact that they were banging on the body of the car for so long kind of weakened the base. You know, once the base falls apart, everything else does in any situation. So that caused the window to shatter a lot easier.
Yeah.
And the product Cybertruck would be able to resist a handgun, glass, the body.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but the show one, it got beaten up on stage by a sledgehammer, and then a metal ball was thrown through the glass, the weakened glass. So, and that when you're making rockets, of course, the show versus the actual product, that is huge.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a car to take you from one point A to point B. We're talking about thousands of tons of just metal, energy, and so much other stuff. I don't even know what food. If you need it. The like interview, the first glance, a live showing of the rocket. It's gonna be a lot.
So many factors have to go into it. Yeah.
It's gonna be so much weaker, much more less prepared than the actual rocket that's gonna go up.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's what the end product is what matters the most.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in space travel. I don't think we want
a little thing
rockets.
like space travel. I don't feel like becoming a flying human torch while in space. That's kind of important.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like a charred marshmallow smeared on the side of some rocket ship as it crashes down to the Earth's atmosphere. That wouldn't be a nice sight to see.
No. No thanks. I'm fine with staying at 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Not anything more, not anything less. I like my body temperature. I don't need anything ruining that.
Yeah, that's nice. Let me see.
Wait, I've pretty much I've gone over aliens, I've gone over archaeology, technology, I've gone over everything on my list. What about you? I got 4 pages of stuff. It only took me like an hour and a half, but yeah.
I think I've said everything I wanted to say.
I mean, I would say more. I would talk more about those brain chips and all that stuff, and get into like the morals and the psychology and all that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think we should save that.
that's a whole another episode's worth of just
Yeah,
stuff to talk about. Yeah, yeah,
but
I'm fine with
for
that.
the most part, I think I'm feeling pretty optimistic for the next 25 years. I know
Yeah.
things are going to change, and
Mm.
I mean, in terms of space. No, yeah, and here's another little fun fact: hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for one ticket for
I could afford that. I'm
the
financially stable enough.
Blue Origin Jeff Bezos tickets to Mars or wherever he's going with that next rocket. Yeah, it was like $250,000, and then each ticket
Wow.
for Elon Musk's SpaceX was, oh God, how much was that? It was somewhere in the millions.
Wow. I don't see. You might as well just build your own rocket company at that point.
52 million per ticket per person.
Wow. Cha-ching.
Yeah, 52 million. I can be set for life. Or I can make hundreds of small businesses with that money. Like, God dang. I could build a whole new SpaceX with that money.
Jesus. It's in there. Honey, what do you want to do this Sunday? I don't know, dear. Let's go up into space. We got $52
let's
million to throw down the drain.
let's go on a vacation to Mars.
Let's go check it out. The
Yeah,
weather's lovely. There's some radiation, but it's fine. It's fine. Barely living anyways.
practically all our life savings. Let's do it. It's good experience. Remember this for the rest of your lives. Yeah, and you'll also
For the
remember
experience.
that.
Yeah. You
Oh
remember the
man.
crippling debt, but yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm liking the next 25 years for space. Probably not going to get personally involved, but I'll stay optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
like where it's going.
Looking good.
You
Cool.
feel the same way?
I think I do. I think I'm pretty optimistic for the most part.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, things could get a little
Yeah.
shaky. We could get the aliens coming in next year, and then everything will be messed up at that point. But until then, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you guys. And I guess that'll do. That'll do, my friend. Thank you guys so much for watching. And leave it in the comments down below. Engage with us and let us know what you think for the next 25 years involving space travel, space development, all species stuff, and whether or not Pluto actually should be a planet.
I can't swear.
Oh my god! And don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, smash on that like button would mean a lot. Subscribing also means a lot, and sharing, commenting. Let us know what you want to hear or who you want to hear it from. Also, remember we got a cast of 5 people. We can come up with a lot of different stuff. But as always, thank you for watching, and yeah, beware of those brain chips.
Beware, they're coming.